Oh God, what does virtue mean? Hey bro, I am the messenger. You wonder what virtue is? Let me show you. Courage, honor, good temper. No, I don't care for those fancy terms. Tell me how empathy can change the world. Tell me why should we be virtuous? Okay then, check with that guy. He may know a thing or two. Hey there, let's have a chat. I can't talk about this topic without gazing back into the past and analyzing the person who inhabited this body. We're some of all our experiences, but it's important to keep in mind that the past doesn't define us. Looking back, I can pinpoint the moments that could be marked as the opposites of virtue, and especially empathy. Growing up, a boy, the masculine, needs guidance and direction in life. Both boys and girls are brought up to this world as feminine energies. Childhood is feminine, innocent, emotional, and tender. Transformation from boyhood to manhood has to be carried out by strategic fostering and mentorship of at least one authoritative masculine figure. I was quite chaotic in some senses, although it was a more appropriate path to walk than being subdued into conformity. The masculine has to be taught, not whipped into obedience. That's why masculinity in contemporary society starts, if it does, to ripe, to mature, if lucky in late 20s, otherwise in 30s. It's a clear indication of lacking leadership and elderly wisdom. Boys are fostered by TV shows, unavailable father figures, and state authorities, which makes boys to act out of scarcity, becoming distracted from the real life, where the real life is assuming your true identity, to become what they're really born into. I have been talking for some minute now, and you must be wondering, where's this going? How does this correlate with the topic at hand? You are quite observant, aren't you? As I was saying, the feminine is conforming, obedient, supportive, and follows the lead. How is it supposed to follow the masculine lead if the masculine lacks a compass, a moral one, which will help it to make the righteous decisions throughout the life? And that's where the virtue comes into picture. The word virtue derives from virtus, where vir in Latin means man, meaning moral excellence, and referring to excellent qualities of men. Moral, ethics, virtue, religion is created as guidance mapping for the masculine, for it to not stray away from the righteous path, to teach the masculine how to be a self-sufficient unit, a leader, a father, a mentor, to tame the chaotic in boys and transform them, transform into stable rock mountains, to protect the community, to provide and serve, to be there through thick and thin. Back to my story, I lacked that compass. Not to the point of being reckless, but I was drifting around without any direction in life. Growth needs a direction, and being a rebellious youngster, I could find myself in situations hurting other human beings, other living creatures. Maybe it's not that dramatic as it sounds. I was kind towards myself, which mirrored onto relationships that I had with other people. Luckily, my mother had a good portion of masculine in her, had a strong father, so I learned some manners. Even the word manner has man in it. To guide the masculine, I presume. You see, the virtue is only path towards experiencing a joyful and peaceful life. Simply put, a virtue is an act of good, deeds that create positive experiences, emotions, and value for others. Virtue is only if carried out unconditionally, without any expectations and hidden agendas. Otherwise, it becomes vice, the opposite of the virtue. Some would question the act being pure, because like notorious Joey Tribbiani stated,
sorry to burst that bubble, but selfless good deeds don't exist.
No one is doing things out of love, unconditionally. You do good to feel nice about your own self by making others happy and joyful. Joey missed one important fact though. A true virtue doesn't contain any clinginess. You don't stay put to embed yourself in that devouring feeling of euphoria, like many feel-good seekers do. But that's not even the most important point. Virtue is how ultimate consciousness enters the cosmos, the universe. Good deeds are contaminating. Goodness spreads itself like a wildfire. When virtue is carried out, it awakens more consciousness in others, which makes the world even better place to live in. Let me explain that part. Most of us have friends, family, and people that we love and care about, right? What is the effect, the consequence of that relationship? Exactly my point. You grow, you feel joyful and invigorated every time you interact with those people in your circle. You feel uplifted and energized. And what is the consequence of that? Fulfillment. It gives you a positive feedback, which makes you to go out there and do even better. Affirmation is a strong stimulus, and doing better means being a good colleague, a citizen, a good human being. So we keep doing them. Of course, not many people do it consciously, and even if it creates a warm feeling in the body, to do good out of slightly egocentric intentions, it is still much better than not participating at all in common good. I see virtue as a rational understanding of what life is and should be about, and in many cases it's accompanied by its right hand, empathy. I didn't understand the true meaning of virtue before I got burned myself. Life puts all human beings on their knees to teach a lesson, to give them chance to understand and grow. Suffering is the best mentor possible. It has to be embraced as privilege, and although very few find nobility in suffering, it is a breaking point that separates two paths, marching towards a profound conscious life or continuing with old ways, remaining the same. And remaining the same is like a snake refusing to change its skin, or a lobster not shedding its old shell. Suffering precedes, suffering intensifies. The ability to understand or feel the emotions of another person, being empathic, compassionate, is very crucial within a virtuous living. And this is not about the conventional meaning of empathy. Empathy is when the consciousness recognizes itself in a different form. We all are the part of the same. I'll put it like this. When your toe is sore or aching, you, the being, orders the hand to stretch out and feel the soreness, and maybe eventually put a band-aid on it. So you, the being, is the universal consciousness. Your hands, your feet, toe in this example, is the physical manifestation of that consciousness. That's how universe operates. When we neglect others, not showing empathy, we neglect the life. Not blindly and naive, consciously and out of mindful awareness. Empathic, compassionate, virtuous living begins within. Love yourself, love life. Hossein out.